I'm going to drive this Hyundai Inster electric car all the way to Scotland to see what it's like. Hopefully better than the last time I took an EV to Scotland. So we're currently here in Machynlleth, where I've just been driving a Volvo S60. Let's jump back to the electric car. While I was away having lunch, we actually put it on charge here. It's Dragon charging. Obviously it was facing the other way. The port's here at the front. This is just for artistic effect. But it costs £9 to effectively put 70 miles of range in, which works out at about 12.9 pence per mile just for the fuel cost. So public chargers is 65 pence per kilowatt here. Not very cost effective. Much cheaper if you can charge at home, which many of us cannot, and that remains the biggest problem with EVs. Nonetheless, I just plugged it in and had lunch and put 70 miles of range in while I was having lunch. I didn't have to wait for that. I just came back and took it off, and that's what had happened. It's a type 2 charger, as they call it. There are some rapid chargers here as well, so they will charge this up in about an hour, much quicker. But I used the reasonable ones because I didn't need to fill the tank, so to speak. Now, through the course of this test, we will do a full review on this vehicle. But if I scroll down, there goes the Volvo. If I scroll down to since last reset, we can see the sort of economy figures we're getting, and I'll explain what those actually mean. So since last reset, it's done 4.4 miles per kilowatt hour. On the way here, I actually got that up to 5.1. So from those numbers, it's quite easy to work out the range effectively. We're paying 65 pence per kilowatt hour, and while it charged, it put 13.9 kilowatt hours into the battery pack. So 13.9 times 5, let's say, miles per kilowatt hour is 69 miles. So therefore you can work out what your pence per mile is, which is 12.9. So compared to petrol and diesel, it's actually not that far off, because this is quite an economical car. It's kind of about there or thereabouts with diesel or petrol, just in that fuel alone cost. But that is using the public charger. If you can home charge, you could charge this car up for just a few pounds from 0 to 100%. Then you're absolutely laughing. And this is the problem with EVs, that there is becoming a socio-economic split between the people who have a household with a driveway and can have home charging, and the many of us who don't. It's a serious split, and it means that one half of society gets really cheap fuel effectively, and one half does not. But whether that can change in future, I don't know. But the reason I'm doing the trip up to Scotland in a little car like this is because I'm hoping for that 5 miles per kilowatt hour. So I'm hoping that will help keep the cost down. But we will keep a log of the costs throughout the trip and see how much it actually costs us. But I need to get home, so we'll just have a quick look around the car before we go again, because it's actually not raining at the moment. And I think it's a lovely bit of design. It's beeping because I've got the key in my pocket. I quite like the cross wheels. They're quite smart. I like these big buggy headlamps on the front. They actually look like, actual headlamps of old. And I like the fact they've got the handles hidden on the back for the rear doors. That's quite nice. Obviously everything shuts really nicely. I like the rear light design. This is your tail lights up here, and then you've got the indicators down here. I could probably actually put them on and demonstrate. So let's force the lights on and the hazards. So here's your tail lights. Obviously not flashing, that's just refresh rates. And the indicators down here along with the brake lights. And when you open up the tailgate, the tail light swaps to down here, so you're still showing a tail light while these are up in the air. And it's really upset about the key situation. So there's your front indicators, and then we've got the driving lights with the headlights in between. So quite a nice thing, and I quite like the interior as well. If we jump in, I just think it's really quite nice and classy in here. I can put the lights back on auto. Digital climate control. This is quite a high spec model. So we've got the digital climate control. We've got paddles to control the regenerative braking. What that is it changes the behavior when you lift off the pedal. If you're in a low level of regen, see at the bottom of this here, so that's a low level. It means the car doesn't really slow down when you take your foot off the brake. But when you crank it up, and I like it in iPedal mode, that means that when you start lifting off the throttle, the motor turns into a generator and actually starts putting energy back into the battery. Gives quite a strong engine braking effect. In fact, in iPedal mode, the car will use the service brake as well and will come to a complete stop just with your use of the throttle pedal. So I tend to leave it in iPedal mode. It means I have to keep some pressure on to coast. Because if I lift off, the needle will swing down here into regen, and if it's in a lesser mode, it is less inclined to do that. Just do a quick wiper review. Very good wiping performance. Look, there's almost no unswept area down here. There's no little triangle down there. There's good overlap, no triangle of doom. Automatic headlamps as well. They're very good. We've got a little wiper on the back, which is very slow, but does a pretty decent job. Cup holders were well sorted for. There's a couple here. The bench sort of extends, but to stop you treating it as a bench, they've put cup holders in it. We've got a little armrest here as well, which I'm using to secure my drink in. Nice comfortable seats, although always a problem on modern cars. I find the head restraint kind of forces my head forward. I can't have my head as far back as I want to really shove my shoulders into the seat. You can make it worse. You can actually bring it forward even more. No thank you. So I've got it as far back as possible, and I've even raised the height to try and make it a bit better. It's all for impact regulations, because the closer your head is to the head restraint, the less whiplash you'll get in the event of a rear ender. But I'd still rather be more comfortable all of the time than saved perfectly in a rear end collision, because I spend more time sitting here not in a collision than I do in a collision. Nice big door mirrors as well. Here is our gear controller down here, so it's just like the into drive we go, into reverse we go, press the end, and we're into park, just like the Ioniq 5. In fact, a lot of it is like the Ioniq 5, but it's a much nicer size of vehicle. It's much smaller than the Ioniq 5, and I love the dials, this retro style dials going on. I think they're absolutely lovely. So anyway, 146 miles of range on 70% of the battery. So we got plenty of juice in. Let's get going. So we've got controls variously. Obviously you can connect your phone to the in-car entertainment. What I don't love is it only seems to work on a cable. I don't like doing that, because it basically means your phone gets charged up all the time. I just want a wireless connection. I don't understand why that isn't a thing. There's a sensor right here which is looking at my eyes, and when I'm not looking at the road enough, that beeps, and it does it quite a lot. But a quick tip, it's got an annoying speed limit detector, which obviously is wrong quite a lot of the time, because they always are. If you press and hold the mute button here, now its speed limiter warning sound is off, so at least I can ignore it. But I haven't worked out how to turn this off. If it detects you, even if you're looking at the screen, if you're looking at anything outside a bit too long, it starts beeping at you. I find that quite irritating. So anyway, foot on the brake, into drive we go. Handbrake will release as I move off. And it kind of makes the Dolby THX sound as you drive along, which is a bit weird. But there has to be some way of warning pedestrians you're coming, because electric cars are very good at sneaking up on people. Steering feels very light after being in the Volvo S60. It does weight up a little bit at speed, but it never really gets really heavy. Nice feeling stalks. So I'm in, oh, it's come out of iPedal mode, that's helpful. There we go, we're back on again. This is one of the things that annoys me. If you turn it on and off, it comes out of iPedal mode, which means the next time you drive it, things respond differently, and it didn't tell you it was going to change. It was also the same on the Ioniq 5. I don't know why that is a thing, and why you have to turn iPedal on. It's how I prefer to drive. So 20 mile an hour speed limit, no problem at all. But a very comfortable, compliant ride, I must say. And it's also quiet in here. Apart from space, because the boot is quite small, I'll show you that. Well, actually, here's a little clip of it. Size-wise, if you don't need that boot space, I don't see any reason to get an Ioniq 5 over this. The Ioniq 5 has more performance, But frankly, this has all the performance you need out on the road. But for all those people saying, I don't want a big, complicated SUV, I want something a bit smaller, this is perhaps the answer. It's still complicated, but every modern car is, regardless of power plant. You cannot build a simple car anymore. It's just not possible because of the legislation and safety standards. So coming up to national speed limit, doing 25 miles an hour, boot it. $60 miles an hour. So it's not as blisteringly quick as the Ioniq 5, but frankly for most people that is more than enough power. And then once you're at speed, we're cruising at 50 because we've got traffic. It's pretty peaceful, to be honest, isn't it? There must be a lot of sound deadening in this car, because when you take the engine noise away, it makes you realise how much other noise there is. So that can be a bad thing. It's going to be interesting to see how we go as we make our way to Scotland. We're going home tonight, and then we're going to get on our way in the morning. So I'm going to try and get it charged up to 100% if I can. Just need to turn off the auto steering, because that is not my favourite feature. The lane departure, it's just annoying tech, and that's it. Every time I start a journey in this car, I have to mute the speed limit system because it's always wrong. It went wrong within seconds of me leaving home this morning, and you have to turn off the lane departure, which comes back on, both of which are required by legislation, the stupidest legislation in the world. If you're fitting safety systems that people immediately want to turn off, that suggests they're no good, and they're really not. It's the next day. It's 8:23 in the morning. We've got 370 miles to cover today in the Hyundai Inster, so which is having acorns thrown at it at the moment. Maybe we'll get moving. Let's see what the stats are before we start. So I can't see this, but you can see we've got the infrared eye scanners there, so that's scanning my eyes as I go down the road. If I'm not paying attention, it beeps to let me know. Quite annoying, but quite surprising how often that kicks in when you're looking at, you know, the infotainment or something of that ilk. So there we go, 227 miles of range it reckons, because I've turned the heater off. That's going to cost me 5 miles. We're starting on 3334 miles, so I'm going to work out how to reset the trip, and then we can, well, actually I can just leave it, can't I? Because after charging we'll see how far we get. It'll tell me that way. But that is our starting conditions. So you can place your bets now as to whether you think the limiting factor here is going to be the range of the car or my bladder. I've got my water so I can stay hydrated. I'm going to forgo my morning cup of tea, because as much as I love tea, it's not all that compatible with life on the road, I find. But I'm going to drive gently. I'm going to keep the heater on. I'm kind of going to drive it like a normal car, and we'll see what range we can get. It's already showing 218 miles of range, but our consumption, just pottering about the local hills, is 2.4 miles per kilowatt hour at the moment. That should even out as we get down the road. Might need my sunglasses, who'd have thought it? But here we go, 370 miles to go. So this is an Insta 02 with the tech pack. I'll have to run through the specs and try and work out exactly what that covers, but it means we've got all the toys: heated steering wheel, heated seats, the digital climate, the sat nav, pretty much everything you could want in a car is here. And I shall put the retail price up as well. Not that many people will walk into a dealer and pay cash, but it's good to know these things. Of course, that's perhaps the biggest difference. I tested the very early 1998 Citroën Berlingo Electrique recently. That was twice the price of a diesel Berlingo at the time, and even when I first started getting into EV back in 2013, it was still probably a good 2/3 the price of you know, more than a normal car, so you still had to pay a premium. These days the difference is definitely getting smaller, although I think we're now awaiting the leap to solid state batteries. It's already being made by some companies, and that will change the fortunes of the EVs even more. But this top spec model has a 49 kilowatt hour battery pack, so you can work that out for yourself. If we average even just 4 miles per kilowatt hour, let's just get out ahead of this bus, we're still going to do 200 miles on a fill, so to speak, and I'm hoping we're going to do better than that. We achieved 5.1 yesterday, 4.6 coming back home, because I think there was a headwind which played its part. I also took a slightly different route. Of course, I'm remembering that the regen is much less effective when your battery's full, because it literally cannot put the amps into the battery quickly enough. It's much harder to fill the last 10% of battery, which is why generally you don't charge beyond 85% ideally. I think we're going to have to max it out, which means your charging time takes longer. That last 10 or 15% is at a slower rate, just because the battery is reaching capacity. I just stopped here in Llangurig to visit the post office and deposit some Rustable takings. Oh, weather is pouring down with rain, but sunny, so that's good. Let's see what our stats are. Ding, ding, ding. So there we go. It's taken an hour and a half to do just 46 miles. It's been slow going. We're behind a lorry down the coast road. There's just nothing you can do. Still got 177 miles of range. We've been averaging 4 miles per kilowatt hour, which is enough if you ran the battery completely flat, do about 190 odd miles. But we're not going to do that. We're going to keep heading north. Now, we've got some issues because the M6 is currently closed around Kirkby Lonsdale. We've got to go to full length for the M6. Well, not the full length, because we're joining it around Chester. Well, Manchester rather. Yeah, the M6 is closed. That's our main route north, so we may have to divert, but that's going to be after our change. I think we've got enough electricity to get us to at least Preston, so we can make a decision before we head north. It's up in Cumbria where the problem is, where it's absolutely beautiful. I love that stretch. I will be very sad if I can't do that stretch of the M6, but now to do, but push on. Oh, and I will be doing a bit more of a review and walk around, see what the rear seats are like when we get to our stop. One quick thing I will point out, the sun visors, that's pointless. It swivels round, but all this is left open. So I was having the sun directing my eyes earlier. That was less than fun. But I've got a funky little light up there and a mirror so I can admire myself, make sure I look my best for the videos. Bladder has given in, and we're still over 200 miles away, so I'm going to put some electricity in anyway. We're going to have to charge twice on this journey. Let's just have a quick look at our stats. So we're 127 miles in, we've still got 89 miles of range, and we've been driving for 3 hours 16, got the economy up to 4.4, so quite pleased with that. So nice and simple, just use your payment card, and it's now connected to the vehicle. We'll just make sure it gets underway before we leave it. I didn't check the prices. We'll see what it is. I don't think Gridserve are particularly cheap. They took over the electric highway from Ecotricity, and still connecting. Come on, I really need the toilet. It's getting quite bad now. Still connecting, but yeah, there's so many chargers here now, but so many EVs as well. Of course, the number of EVs has gone up constantly as the number of chargers has gone up. So we're still waiting. I may just have to leave it and go because my bladder is that bad. I left it too long. I should have stopped earlier. I'm just going to leave it and we'll hope. Right, back. Oh, still not working. Oh well, we'll give up on that then, shall we? What a load of rubbish. Didn't get any juice in during that stop, but I really have just gone to the toilet, so I have to put both the covers back in. There we go. So we'll consider that a waste of time. Oh, that's it, unlock the car. Oh. Right, so let's just remind ourselves where we are. So 42%, 89 miles. I'm going to push on and go for the one stop, and that'll be about lunchtime. Right, that was all a bit of a nonsense then, but at least it means I can get on my way. This is earlier than I wanted to stop. M6 motorway that way. But one issue I haven't got the wireless Android Auto working yet. It only works when I plug my phone into the car, and the problem with doing that is I then can't plug the microphone in to talk to you. So that's a bit of a nonsense, but I have to say, this is just lovely to cover miles in. It's a small car with torque. It's what I've always dreamt of. What are you beeping at me now for? Oh, because I haven't turned the lane departure off. Press and hold, there we go. Absolute rubbish. Stupid technology. I better turn the speed limit off. That has been catastrophically wrong on a number of occasions. I don't know where it's seeing the signs sometimes. It's not maps, because I've had Google Maps running, and that's showing the correct speed limit. The car has seen a sign somewhere, maybe for a side road, or roadwork signs have been left out, and it's terrifyingly wrong. And there are cars on the market that will adhere to what the car thinks is the speed, but the technology's not there, and the people looking after signs aren't making sure they obey whatever rules should be in place. So it's a catastrophe, really. How are you meant to know? But yeah, 129 miles now, and we still got 88 miles of range. That strikes me as eminently decent. The range is going to be less than it predicted, but then we were never going to do 219 miles and then charge it up, because that would be running it to zero. We don't want to do that. We're at 41%. Want to be somewhere between 15 and 20 when we stop, really. But I'm going to re-engage the cruise if I can. Remember, I'd turn it on. There we go. And it's adaptive cruise as well, so you just have, with electric, you don't hear it slowing down, so you have to be a bit mindful. But one thing I like is that if you indicate right, it will start accelerating, so you're building your speed up before you need to. I've got bloody lane following turned on. Go away. I have actually tried using the lane following. It's where it automatically steers, basically. But it's just weird. You're just like sharing responsibility. Neither of you fully in charge of it. I'm not comfortable with it. Now I'm driving along. The car's steering. The car's controlling the speed, even allowing for traffic. I'm just like, what am I actually doing here? Not driving the car, it feels like. But yeah, I'm quite happy to steer in my own lane. I've been doing it for quite a long time now. I'm pretty good at staying in my lane. Well, it hasn't gone wrong, but I probably should have stopped. It pinged on at 20% battery just before Charnock Richards services up here in Lancashire, but I just wanted to go a bit further. So we have. We're now at Preston. We've covered 176 miles. I've got 26 miles of range, but the battery's down to 14%. So, oh yes, I know it's low battery. So there we go, let's call it 177 miles. Took 4 hours. And we average 4.3 miles per kilowatt hour. So we've got 25 miles of range left, but we're on 14%. It's getting quite unhappy. So let's plug in. Oh, that's helpful. So there are 4 chargers, and this one's unavailable. Marvellous. I guess I'll take that out then. No, it won't unlock. Great. I love it when this happens. Oh, so that's 2 chargers we've connected to so far, and neither of them have worked. That's not ideal, is it? So I'm going to have to go back onto the Electroverse app and try and find another one, because these don't look like they're going anytime soon. On my way to an Instavolt, I spotted this BP Pulse charger here at the Sherwood. And if this actually works, and it is, there we go. Battery's at 12%, so that came quite low. It's 85 pence per kilowatt. But I'm going to go and grab some lunch, and we'll see how it does. I haven't got the app, so I can't keep an eye on it, which is a bit of a pain, but nonetheless, go get some food, because I am absolutely starving. Apparently there's a school just over there, hence all the noise. And yeah, we'll put some energy in the old motor. So it's going to take an hour and 41 to fully charge the battery, but it's already up to 13%. I'll just take whatever it's got, except that we're going to stop again at some point. But I'm going to get some food, and then we can do a review of the little Hyundai Inster. Well, I have to say, that was a lot more pleasant than the services. Lovely clean toilets, not too busy in there, and some very delicious food. I had the chicken gyros, the Greek dish, or chicken jarros, as the lass called them, which I think is actually cuter. But should we see what we're on and what has been, well, how much electricity it's managed to sup in the time we've been in there. So what was it, 12% when we started? That was about an hour ago. Oh, there we go, 57 minutes, and it's now on 73%. So 31 kilowatt hours supplied, which has cost £26.95 because this is a very expensive charger. So effectively-ish, it's probably cost me, using this charger, about 30 quid to get up here to Preston. So what was that, 180 miles? Sums can happen over here, and we'll see whether that's actually good or not, and try and work out an MPG equivalent. So I will attempt to do that in edit because I'm hopeless otherwise. But before we go, I'll leave that charging for now, I might as well. I just want to show you the back of the Inster, because if I open her up, oh sorry, absolute carnage, of course it is. My coat that got soaked yesterday. Look at the leg room. So this is behind me, and there's an insane amount of space. Really, really impressive. It's starting to absolutely pour down. I should have disconnected. The seat does move, so I can give myself less space. So if I ram my knees into there, let's see what that does for the actual boot space. It's just down here. Yeah, that makes quite a difference. That should actually be attached to that, but apparently comes off if you tip it that far. But otherwise, the boot is pretty tiny. There is an area under there for your cables, but as you can see, I can't be bothered to put the cables away properly. So there we are. We'll close that, and we can slide that seat back again. I suppose we could just have a look to see what it looks like folded. And it sort of pulls the boot floor with it as it does that, weirdly. And the passenger seat also folds down, so that's good. And we've got things to tie to as well. I have to lift it, release it to get it back up again. And then the seatbelt wedges in because I didn't put it in the thing I should have done. Professional. Ah yes, I must do think about this. Clean that off so I can actually see what's behind me. Remember the Kia e-Niro, there's someone who makes replacements for these covers that have a little brush on the end, but what the brush does to that, I don't know, but that should improve matters nonetheless. Let's just have a look at this passenger seat. If I pop my bag onto the floor for a minute. So can we fold this down? Oh, ow! Oh yes! It's just mildly attacks you in the face, and I think you can get accessories to attach here and to those plus points on the doors as well. And it looks like the covers can be zipped off for cleaning as well. Essentially, if you've got a family, let's just move that a bit more reclined. There we go. All good. I love the fact this area gently glows. So we've got two 12 volts, there's a type C there and a standard USB, and that's the connector for that as well. 12 volt power outlet in the traditional sense should you need it. And the big news is, look, we've actually got a plug-in charger down here as well. So this is a full 13 amp output, V2L they call it, vehicle to load. I think the Ioniq 5 also had one of those and I failed to find it on the outside of the car, but this has one inside. It says do not use a kettle or iron, it's dangerous. So there we are. Right, I think I've probably spent enough here. That's going to get us a good way down the road. So we'll stop. We'll stop. We'll stop. Yes, please. There we go. And that should now be released. The car will lock it to itself when it's charging. So that goes back in there. That goes in there. That goes in there. Other way round. After that one in first. There we go. I like this being at the front because you can sit there and watch the charger. But obviously the downside is that that's very prone to get accident damage, you would have thought. But anyway, we need to get moving. Let's go. I'll just have a quick squeeze. Let's see how far we've got left. But let's see what the predicted range is now. The motorway is still closed, by the way. 174 miles. Let's just find out how far we got to go. Yeah, we've still got 4 hours and 186 miles to go. So we're on 174 miles. We are going to have to charge again, but this is kind of how you do it. I can do it with a shorter stop. I don't have to stop for an hour or more to charge it all the way to 100%. When I was first doing EV road trips, the first of those in 2014, in a Nissan ENV200 with a 60-mile range, you had no choice but to just sit there and wait and wait and wait for it to get up to 100% because you needed all of the range. This is a bit more convenient, but I think still realistically you should probably say that the Hyundai Inster 49 kilowatt hour has a realistic range of 160, 170 miles. So you're not taking that from 100% like we did this morning, and you're not running the battery completely flat. So you can comfortably do 150 miles without really having to think about it. But I'm going to get you in the mount, get set up and get back on my way. Here we go again. Next wave. It's just this constantly. I'm going to put my lights on because that puts my rear lights on. The auto lights don't pick up that rear lights are needed, even though the wipers are going like the clappers. And then it eases off again. Just short, sharp bursts continuously. Unfortunately, we have now caught the traffic. We've just passed where the M6 is closed, and I don't believe this is the official diversion route, but naturally lots of people are unofficially diverting through Kendal. It's a really bad one. The truck's gone over, caught fire, so the road has melted, so they've got to resurface the road. This happened probably 10-11 hours ago. Driver thankfully minor injuries, but the cleanup is going to take a while. There you go, fire brigade. I wonder if they were involved. This got rustic very quick. We're all hoping someone's not coming the other way. I think, oh, someone is coming the other way. Oh no, you're going to be there all day. Because this is just an endless strip. There's a lovely viaduct right ahead of me and the mountains. It's all very pretty, all very Cumbria. Feels like we're driving through someone's garden. Apparently we're still on the road. Well, after some time we've reached the scene of the accident. The road is coming right close to where it is, but I think we're going to be up above it. So very glad the driver has apparently survived with only minor injuries, but it's all down here. As you can see, a resurfacing vehicle there. So this is exactly where the problem is, just down there. But we're having to divert around, but we should soon be able to get back on the M6. We're not far from the next junction, but the landscape around here is just truly beautiful. I can't really give you a good angle from there. I'm trying to spin you around a bit out the front. Now it's telling me off because I'm not looking forward enough. We've made it to Scotland. The sky is looking threatening, and I just pulled up to use this Apple Green charger. Rubbish, doesn't work. It's saying scan card and then not accepting a card, so that's great. Third charger of the day. So we're giving up on that one as well. We'll go and try one of the other ones, but this is getting a bit tiring. So much infrastructure is just so I saw someone else changing charger as well. There are actually free here. I don't know if you can use the Tesla ones here. Some Tesla chargers, sorry I'm not filming this very well. These plugs are a right pain to get in. There we go. We're going to try another charger. But yeah, the Tesla chargers in some places are open, but they've got some electric highway ones, so I'm going to try those. Well, it only took a few minutes and it started raining, so I just jumped in the car because I can do it all on the app, so I haven't got to be out there once I've done that. So we're down at 28%, 53 miles. It's going to take an hour and a half to charge to fully. We're not going to do that. I'm literally going to stop for a bit of a break and a toilet break again. I've reached the end of my bladder again. We've done about 100 miles since the last stop. It's not very far, but I'm feeling very tired. My bladder has given up already, obviously keeping too hydrated. So I'll go and have a break and we'll get on our way again. I'm feeling absolutely shattered. It's been a long day. Let's find out what time it is. It is 4:20 in the afternoon now. So I don't need to run the aircon. I think I'll be alright. It's absolutely freezing up here. It says 15 degrees, but it feels much colder out there. Is it because it's the north? But yeah, I've just been relieved of another £2.55 for that. Cheers, Starbucks. It's an iced tea. It's actually really tasty. I don't think it's got anything bad in it, but one of the ingredients is natural flavourings. No further description of what the natural flavourings are. Water, white grape juice, peach juice, natural flavourings. Whether that's the tea bit, I don't know. Don't really taste very much of tea. No, it lists tea extract. So God knows what natural flavourings is. But it doesn't taste like all the fake sweetened stuff, which just tastes revolting. So I'm going for it just for a bit different. I didn't fancy sitting in for a cup of tea. So I'm just going to sit here and drink this. Cheers. I can't seem to get wireless Android Auto to work. So because I haven't connected via a cable, it just goes, no, use a cable. But that's rubbish. I don't want to do that. I know my circumstances are a little unique, but I also don't like leaving my phone plugged into a charger constantly. It's not very good for the phone battery. So a bit annoying. There's all various modes here. I don't know what this one is. I can guess what phone is. There's a quiet mode, valet mode, presumably does that restrict the power or something? Climate control. So it's got auto dehumidify and auto defog. And this is a fun one. When you wash the windscreen, it puts it into recirculate mode. So you don't get the smell of screen wash coming in. So after a couple of minutes, it'll go back to fresh air in. That's quite a fun feature, I think. Let's actually just put it on. And there we go. Outside 14 degrees, it reckons. And it's decided that what we need most at the moment is a face full of air. That is quite nice, to be fair. So good that you can run that while charging. If you actually want to sit in your car while you charge. Not everyone does. I think quite a lot of people are sort of chucking them on a charger, going for a cup of tea, and then coming back. And in the time they've had a cup of tea, they've put a useful amount of power in. So we've put 21 kilowatts in so far, and it's taken 31 minutes to do so. I must confess, I've had a bit of a lie down and a bit of a nap. Am I officially old now? Yes, I officially am. I mean, look at the grey hair. Last time I was up this way in an electric car, it was a Jaguar I-Pace 6 years ago, I think. There's a lorry just reversed into some trees over there. Brilliant. Yeah, I had very different hair. Was it short? I don't know. Was it still long? I can't even remember. But I borrowed it from S&G Barrett, and it was a very frustrating journey. And sadly, this journey has been a bit frustrating as well. It's still just not as easy as a petrol car. And for all the EV folks saying, oh, well, you just got to plan your journey and work out which chargers to use. No, I don't have to do that with a petrol car. I mean, granted, I will sometimes use the map to find a cheaper petrol station, so I'm not having to pay motorway prices, because why would you? But it's interesting that motorway prices, how much is this one? This one's 85p per kilowatt hour, are still a bit more expensive than chargers off the motorway, where it's more like 65, maybe 74p an Instavolt. Not that I've managed to use one of those yet. I haven't even been near one. But I've got 80 miles to go and I've got 136 miles of range. I think we're getting to the stage I'm just going to say enough's enough and push on, so I can have a rest before what is probably going to be a very busy filming day tomorrow. I've potentially got 3 vehicles. I don't know if any of these are going to come to pass. It's going to make it interesting trying to do my research tonight. I might just do a little bit of research now just while I'm here, because if I drive straight to where I'm staying, I can't charge it, so I'm not putting any juice in, and we'll see how we go. Of course, you can amuse yourself by reading the manual. It's quite chunky. That is all English, and it's actually quite a good manual. Some useful stuff in it. The index takes some getting used to, but yeah, I mean, there's an awful lot in there. And there's a separate one for the navigation, although this mostly is a link telling you to go to their store and download it. I think there is not actually very much information in there at all, so that one less useful. But this one's nice, and it's got some interesting diagrams variously as well. If I can see if I can find some, like don't crash your Inster, but at least it's got airbags if you do. I'm going to try not to crash it. There are limits to what I'm prepared to do to test the vehicle, but we're at 78%. I think for old time's sake, 2 minutes left to get to 80%. We might as well let it do that, and then off to Edinburgh. So I'm now going along the A701, which is the scenic drive across to Edinburgh, which is on the other side of Scotland. So you can go up to Glasgow and then go across. That's not quite so scenic, but I don't think I've ever travelled on this road before. But look at this. This is 20 to 6 in the evening, so this is rush hour. Just imagine the chaos in the towns and cities of the UK, and there is no one here. I imagine in the summer months this route must be awful, packed full of camper vans and caravans, but this is just crazy. I haven't come up to another car in so far about 10 miles. It's bliss. It's even stopped raining, which I can scarcely believe. But we are averaging only 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour. It seems like we've been climbing since leaving the motorway services. So yeah, economy is not great. This isn't so bad. This is fast and flowing, but we've had some sections where you're kind of accelerating and decelerating, and the regen doesn't make up the acceleration to get back up to speed again. But I am feeling quite tired at this point. It's like I say, it's almost 6 o'clock. We've been on the road since 8, and we've covered over 320 miles so far. Sorry, no, 300 and, oh, I can't even count. Yeah, 325 miles I think we've done so far. Long day, folks. Last time I was up this way was when I swapped Vixella the Vectra for the Rover 75, the copper leaf one, and that involved driving up, staying the night, and then driving back home again the next day. But that was also quite tiring. But this is so smooth, and with the cruise control, it's got the adaptive cruise control as well. I think that's the problem. I think when you turn that on, it turns on the keep in lane feature, which is irritating as hell. I hate it. I don't know if the lower spec ones have that. I'd be interested to know. But oh, it's just awful. There are so many things. If I could just hack into it with some form of programming, I would turn off the lane departure, I'd turn off the stupid keep in lane thing, and I would turn off the speed limit alert. The speed limit alert could be so good, but it's so often wrong. It's frankly dangerous to have something that awful legislated as compulsory. Ridiculous. I do think about this headrest as well. I really want to stretch my neck back, and I just can't. I don't like that. I keep on touching the head restraint. I don't like it. That is not a problem unique to this car. It is modern cars. It must be crash regs. Must obviously be, in the case of a rear ender, your head's got less far to travel, so that's better, but I don't like it. I do like this scenery though. And here we are in Edinburgh, where we're on the outskirts. You can tell it's Edinburgh because you're surrounded by houses, but then there's a great lump of rock in the background as well. So the city is that away. Not sure we're going to have time to explore, but very, very happy with the Hyundai Inster. We've done like 370 miles today, just shy, I think, 368, and it's been awesome. It's just eats up the miles so well in a way small cars usually don't. It's just a shame about some of the nagging technology, really. But I'm going to wrap this one up there. So that was the story. It's the most miles I've ever done in an electric car in a day. It's beaten my previous record of 350. That was some time ago in the e-Golf, where I took to Anglesey from where I was living in Devil's Bridge, but I had to go into England to find enough chargers to be able to do it. This time I've been able to find chargers along my route, no problem. It is a lot better. And the fact that you don't need apps and things, you can just boop your card and pay. It's not the cheapest, but it is possible. And I can see why people fall in love with the electric experience. It's just so relaxing. So there will be more on the journey back at some point, but like I say, I'm going to wrap that one up there. That was the story of getting this little car from Wales to Edinburgh. Very, very pleasing. I'm going to go and find where I'm staying tonight and then crash out because it's been a very long day. Huge thanks for watching, and see you in a future video. Farewell.